The year of the underdog, 2012. Nobody bet on New Jersey and LA in the finals, and yet that's what ended up happening. And LA won it in six, but it was quite the fight put up by the New Jersey Devils. And honestly, this was one year that I was really kind of pulling for him. And I think this was honestly probably the best year that Marty Brodeur had in the playoffs. And I mean that. In the first round, they play Florida. They win 3-2 in game one. They lost games 2 and 3, 4-2 and 4-3. They win game 4, 4-0. They lose game 5, 3-0. They win game 6, 3-2 in overtime, and they won game 7, 3-2 in double overtime. Now, I obviously, being me, was pulling for Florida in that series because I like to cheer for teams that don't win. That's pretty much how it works. Look at the Stanley Cup videos I posted today. That's pretty much how it works. Teams I cheer for just, yeah, it's not fun. But anyways, New Jersey moved on to the second round against Philly. In the first game, they lost 4-3 in overtime. They won game 2, 4-1. They won game 3, 4-3 in overtime, and they won games 4 and 5, 4-2 and 3-1, to quickly move on to the next round and a matchup with arch nemesis, the New York Rangers, and Henrik Lundqvist. And the interesting thing is, if you look at it round by round, and we'll get into it, Brodeur played his best hockey in that round against the Rangers. Loves playing the Rangers. They lose game 1, 3-0. They win game 2, 3-2. They lost game 3, 3-0. And then they took over. They won 4-1, 5-3, and then the final game was game 6, 3-2 overtime win for the New Jersey Devils to qualify for the Stanley Cup Finals in a series against an LA Kings team that I still to this day am surprised at how that run went for them. But when you look at it, basically what the LA Kings did was they did what Vegas did this year. It's just in the finals, they were able to keep it up. And Jonathan Quick's numbers didn't get any worse in the finals than they were any of the rest of the series. In those finals, they lost games 1 and 2, both of them 2-1 in overtime. And the second one felt like a gut punch for Jersey. Then game 3, they lose 4-0. They're down 3-0. It's over. They won game 4 in LA 3-1. Then they win game 5 at home 2-1. And I thought, you know what? Maybe. I remember sitting down to watch game 6 going, you know what, maybe this is maybe this is gonna be a big comeback. And then LA trashed them 6-1. So throughout the rounds, Brodeur, 922 save percentage in the first round, 918 in the second round, 927 in the third, 900 save percentage in the finals. Of course, remember that 6-1 loss is in there as well, so that's going to affect his numbers. I did think that was Brodeur's best round and best playoffs. But the interesting thing to me, too, with New Jersey was, and I had to look this up, is that there seemed to be a different hero for each series. Zajac led the way in scoring in the first round with 3 goals and 3 assists. Kovalchuk in the second round, 2 goals and 5 assists. Parise led the way with 3 goals and 3 assists in the third round. And Salvador led the way with a goal and 2 assists in the finals, showing just how hard of a time they had scoring on Jonathan Quick, who saved 947 worth of shots. 94.7% of shots he saved. So when you got a goalie against you that's playing like that, you're not going to win that series. Leading the way in scoring for those playoffs, Kovalchuk had 8 goals and 11 assists. Parise with 8 goals and 7 assists. Zajac, 7 goals and 7 assists. Bryce Salvador, 4 goals and 10 assists. This was an amazing playoffs for him. Adam Henrique, 5 goals and 8 assists. He was 21 years old at the time. Clarkson, 3 goals and 9 assists, and this is part of the reason why he got that monster contract. Clarkson looked like he was a playoff warrior, and then he scored a bunch of goals, and yeah, it really raised the bar to a level that he really couldn't reach. Danis Zubris, 3 goals and 7 assists. Ponikarovsky, a goal and 8 assists. Zedlichky, I liked Marek Zedlichky a lot. I was really happy to see him in the finals. 1 goal and 8 assists. Eliash, 5 goals and 3 assists. Carter, 5 goals and 2 assists. Ryan Carter, Steven Gionta, 3 goals, 5 assists. And Bernier, 2 goals and 5 assists. They were kind of the story, too. That was a line of guys that nobody wanted. They were nobodies. And then in the playoffs, they came together, and it was kind of fantastic to watch. It was Steven Gionta's hour in the spotlight. It really was. His 15 minutes of fame were during these playoffs. And then goaltending, Brodeur 14-9 with a 2.12 goals against, 917 save percentage. Johan Hedberg was 0-1, 1.65 goals against, and a 929 save percentage when he showed up. So it's nice to get Johan Hedberg on the board in a video somehow. One of my favorite backup goalies over the years. Peter DeBoer was the coach of the team. And this is a team that really has had a huge turnover since this Stanley Cup final, which was 6 years ago. Very, very few players that are still there. And maybe we'll see New Jersey back in a finals within the next 3 years. Say 3 years. But it was a fun finals. They ran out of gas at the end. They did their best to come back and make it a series, but LA kind of put a stomping on them in that last game. But they were very good. They were a bona fide Stanley Cup finalist. The New Jersey Devils, the 2012 finalists.